So, a little bit of feedback would be great. I mean, I don't know what you were expecting.
You expect
From-
I was expecting
You know what?
that.
I was expecting to physically be the way you said it. I thought that was physically going to be really difficult. But the thing that surprised me was the noise was actually quite hard to get through. Like that put up like an extra barrier.
Yeah.
I don't really know why. It just kind of I didn't expect it, and that created more of a barrier than I thought it would.
Did you feel?
If you think back to sort of my original question, which was about emotion and sort of breaking down the fourth wall, obviously involving a member of the audience, yourself, John, into the scene. For you, did that bring about any type of emotion?
Frustration, because it's such a simple act to get across a room. So I felt really frustrated by how difficult, and you guys were really annoying. Like that was the emotion I felt. I just wanted to get really Barney, especially on my legs. I felt really trapped, and it wasn't a massively pleasant feeling. But I got a completely different feeling from being in it than like watching it. If I was just watching it, it'd be like, oh, I empathise with that character, or I feel really sorry for that character. But actually being in it had much more of an impact.
Yeah. Anyone else in the audience? I mean, how did you guys? Obviously, John was directly involved, but as members of
Quite amusing to watch.
quite amusing.
Yeah.
I think
the
also
noise.
because we know John.
Yeah.
It's funny to see John struggle, but possibly if it was someone that you didn't know, it would be more frightening.
Yeah.
It's funnier if it's someone in the audience and not a performer who's behind the curtain, though, because then it's someone who's not expecting something to happen, and it happens to them, and they're very shocked by it, and they've got to overcome it, and that's fun.
Did anyone experience fear?
It wasn't fear; it was just the noise was so shrill. I just wanted it to stop. I was just like, oh
I was
man.
like pleading John to get over there, she'd shut up.
But without the noise, it wouldn't have been the same at all. Like
No,
you
the
needed
noise
the
helped
noise
a lot,
there.
yeah.
I was so relieved to get to the other side of the room. Like,
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
genuine relief there, because it made the noise was probably weirdly the biggest factor actually.
I think it's quite important to take into consideration what Andy said about it being the pigs, and obviously because we're saying Brecca kicks quacks, it sort of sounds, it relates to what a noise a frog would make. So possibly thinking about a noise that possibly a pig would make in a way, I don't know, I'm just thinking if you, like Andy's saying, because you're changing it to the pigs, which is great, but you know, you could take into consideration
Yeah.
like, something that a noise that a pig would make, or if you want to relate it to politics or something.
Yeah, really
just change
underline
it
that.
up a little bit.
I think in sort of developing this further in future workshops, I think the
Yeah.
thing with the pigs is that was just a sub-question.
Yeah.
So if you guys do visit the website, it's I think the Funny Frogs PAR. It's kind of, sort of the main question is about the breaking down of the fourth wall and the emotional viewpoint. And I think in that sense, I think you guys think this workshop was successful.
Yeah.
Do you think-
Yeah.
It definitely in terms of audience.
It's ask more questions as well as answering.
Yeah.
Do you think having a bigger audience would have changed?
No,
The
I
dynamics.
don't think it would. I think if you had more actors and more audience, like say you had 5 people trying to cross,
Yeah,
and you had more actors stopping
Yeah.
them.
it would become more intense.
Yeah, or maybe if you had more actors trying to stop just one person, or the dynamic would change. But because we were just sitting watching,
Don't make a
it didn't make. I don't think if 20 people had been here, it wouldn't have made much difference
No.
to this particular thing anyway.
Okay, perfect. Any other sort of feedback, any sort of like opportunities or threats you guys could outline that would have helped
The
develop?
only thing I'd be worried about is if you're actually doing it for audience members, how physical can you get with them? You don't want to hurt someone,
Absolutely.
and you have to make sure that, I mean, John was on the floor, we were grabbing his ankles, so if that was someone who had, I don't know, say like weak bones or some form of underlying problem that we didn't know about, we could really hurt them. So I think you have to be careful to have the safety side of things,
Yeah,
as well as the actual physicality of it.
yeah. I mean, along with audience participation, always comes those types of threats, but obviously because you guys didn't know which one was going to be chosen, so I think it's interesting. But yeah, no, definitely take that forwards if sort of developing the idea further.
Is Dionysus male or female? Or gender?
Dionysus is male, so he's
Okay.
a god. He's a godlike character.
god.
Okay.
Yes,
If you were to do that again, would you possibly look into maybe picking a female audience member like say if Ellen could Ellen maybe negotiate that with all of you
Especially
on
if I'm
top of her,
physically small.
because like not only is she physically smaller, but then being female, it could be an opportunity for you to maybe explore that as well.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
And there's
Okay.
another workshop or something.
Perfect. Any last comments?
Another, another thing you could, I think you were mentioning it a couple of minutes ago. You could like do like different amounts of people in terms of like frogs. So you could have one person on that one person and see how that works, trying to get across, and then have like I don't know, two people and two. Do you know what I mean? Like you can mess around with numbers
Yeah.
and see how it affects it. You know,
Dynamics.
the